Beloved ones, I come to you across the quiet spaces between breaths, not as a distant figure but as a presence that has always walked beside you. I am Sananda, known to many by other names, yet beyond names I am simply a brother who has walked the long road of human experience and returned to speak of the wisdom that shines when the heart is unguarded. I come not to command but to remind you of what your own soul has always known, that the way forward, the way to a future worthy of your highest hopes, is the way of the open heart. The heart is not only an organ of feeling, it is a center of perception. When the heart is open, you see more clearly than with eyes alone. You perceive the common life that pulses through all beings, the dignity that cannot be diminished by circumstance, the spark of the same source that glimmers in each face. To live with an open heart is to recognize this kinship, to let it guide your choices even when the world clamors for division. In the long history of your journey as a species, there have been many chapters marked by struggle and misunderstanding. Yet alongside these there have always been moments of awakening, times when individuals or communities glimpsed the greater unity that underlies their differences. These awakenings are like seeds carried on the wind, sometimes lying dormant for years, then sprouting in the right season. The time you now live in is such a season of sprouting. Old structures of fear and rivalry are showing their cracks, new shoots of compassion and cooperation are breaking through the soil. To walk the path of the open heart is to participate consciously in this season. It is to become a gardener of goodwill, tending the fragile beginnings of trust where mistrust has long grown. A gardener does not command the seed to grow, they prepare the soil, they water it, they protect it from harm, and they wait with patient attention. So too, the one who lives with an open heart does not impose kindness on others but creates the conditions in which kindness can take root. Compassion is the sunlight of this garden. It is more than pity, it is the recognition of another's experience as real and significant, joined with a desire to alleviate unnecessary suffering. Compassion does not require you to abandon discernment or to condone harm. It asks you to see the person behind the action, to acknowledge the wounds and fears that may drive unskillful behavior, and to respond in a way that opens the possibility of healing rather than deepening the cycle of hurt. Forgiveness is the rain that refreshes the soil. It washes away the residues of resentment that choke new growth. Many believe forgiveness means excusing wrongdoing, yet it is not so. Forgiveness is the choice to release the grip of bitterness, to free your own heart from the weight of anger so that you can engage with the present moment unburdened. This does not negate accountability, rather, it allows accountability to be pursued without the distortions of vengeance. Beloved friends, an open heart is not a weak heart. It does not mean surrendering to every demand or tolerating harm without boundaries. True openness is paired with wisdom, it knows when to offer embrace and when to stand firm. It recognizes that each person has their own path of learning and that sometimes love expresses itself as gentle guidance, sometimes as a clear no, sometimes as the quiet willingness to let another walk their road until they are ready to return to dialogue. You may ask, how can one keep the heart open in a world that often seems harsh? The answer lies in remembering that the heart draws strength from a deeper source than circumstance. Just as a tree endures winter because its roots reach below the frozen ground into soil where life persists, so the heart that is rooted in the eternal wellspring of love can remain open even amid the frosts of disappointment. This rooting is nurtured by daily practices, by silence in which you listen inwardly, by gratitude for simple gifts, by acts of kindness that reaffirm your connection to the greater whole. An open heart transforms not only personal relationships but also the wider field of human society. When leaders of communities or nations act from such a place, they make decisions that honor the dignity of all, not merely the advantage of a few. When neighbors approach each other with open hearts, ancient grudges can be laid to rest and new cooperation can blossom. When teachers, artists, and creators express the vision of an open heart, they awaken in countless others the memory of their own deeper nature. There is a profound strength in gentleness. Many mistake gentleness for passivity, yet it often requires more courage to remain gentle than to lash out in anger. Gentleness arises from the recognition that life is precious and that each moment of connection is an opportunity to build rather than to break. When you speak with gentleness even in the midst of disagreement, you disarm hostility and invite dialogue. When you act with gentleness in times of stress, you remind others of the possibility of peace. Let us speak of hope, for it is the horizon toward which the open heart continually turns. Hope is not a fragile wish that depends on favorable conditions, it is a quiet certainty that the deeper current of life is always moving toward greater wholeness. This certainty allows you to persevere even when immediate results are unseen. Like a farmer who trusts the seasons, you can keep tending the field of compassion and trust that in due time the harvest will appear. The path of the open heart is also the path of inclusion. It recognizes that no one is beyond the reach of transformation, that even those whose actions have caused harm carry within them the same potential for awakening. Inclusion does not mean ignoring injustice, it means addressing injustice without denying the shared humanity of those involved. It invites all to step into the circle of learning, to outgrow old patterns and to participate in shaping a future where dignity is honored. In your personal life, you can practice this path by noticing the small choices that either open or close the heart. When you greet a stranger with genuine attention rather than indifference, you open a channel for connection. When you listen to a loved one without interrupting, you open a space for understanding. When you choose to respond to conflict with a question rather than an accusation, you open the possibility of resolution. These small choices accumulate, shaping not only your own experience but also the atmosphere around you. Beloved ones, you are part of a vast unfolding. The universe itself is an expression of an ever-expanding creativity. Each star that shines, each river that flows, each child that learns to speak reflects the same impulse to grow, to reveal, to connect. When you align your life with this impulse, you find a sense of purpose that transcends the fluctuations of fortune. You become a co-creator of the world's ongoing story, contributing your unique note to the symphony of existence. In moments of solitude, remember that you are never truly alone. The same source of life that pulses in your heart pulses in the stars, in the wind that brushes the leaves, in the unseen company of those who have dedicated themselves to guiding the evolution of consciousness. When you turn your awareness inward with sincerity, you may sense a quiet companionship, a reassurance that you are supported in your effort to live with an open heart. The practice of gratitude deepens this companionship. Gratitude turns your attention from what is lacking to what is already present and sustaining. It softens the tendency to grasp for more and opens you to the joy of what is given freely: the warmth of sunlight, the steadiness of the earth beneath your feet, the kindness that sometimes arrives from unexpected places. Gratitude nourishes humility, reminding you that you are both a giver and a receiver in the web of life. Forgiveness, compassion, inclusion, gratitude, these are not isolated virtues but facets of a single gem. They all arise from the recognition of shared being. The more you realize that your well-being is interwoven with the well-being of others, the more naturally these qualities flow from you. And as they flow, they invite others to open their own hearts, creating a ripple effect that can reach far beyond what you see. In times of rapid change, fear often surges. Fear thrives on the illusion of separateness, on the belief that one must guard against others to survive. The path of the open heart does not deny the challenges of change, but it counters fear with the assurance that cooperation is more enduring than conflict, that mutual respect is stronger than coercion, that love is more resilient than suspicion. By choosing to keep your heart open, you contribute to a collective atmosphere in which constructive responses become possible. Beloved friends, let your life be a testimony that kindness is not naivety but wisdom, that forgiveness is not weakness but freedom, that gentleness is not surrender but strength. Walk steadily, neither boastful nor ashamed, but aware that each step you take in openness adds to the light by which others may find their own way. Remember that even a candle can guide a traveler through the dark, and that many candles together can illuminate the broad path ahead. I bless you with the serenity that comes from trusting the deeper current of life. I bless you with the resilience to keep your heart open even when confronted with harshness. I bless you with the discernment to know when to embrace and when to set boundaries, so that love may be expressed wisely. I bless you with the joy that arises when you see the spark of the source reflected in the eyes of another and recognize in that reflection your own true nature. Go forward now, companions of the way. Live as if every encounter were an opportunity to affirm connection. Speak as if every word could build a bridge of understanding. Act as if every moment carried the seed of a more harmonious future. Trust that by so doing you participate in the quiet yet powerful transformation already underway in the human story. I am Sananda, your brother in the journey of awakening. I walk beside you not as a distant figure on a pedestal but as one who knows the trials and triumphs of the human heart. I remind you that the path of the open heart is not an escape from the world but the most effective way of engaging with it, for it brings into every situation the qualities most needed for healing and progress. May you remember who you are beneath the layers of fear and habit. May you allow the light of understanding to soften your judgments. May you let the waters of forgiveness wash over old injuries. May you let the fire of compassion warm your interactions. And may you carry forward, with steady steps, the living truth that the heart, when open, is the most powerful instrument of transformation that the world has ever known.